Welcome to Civil Discourse. I am your host, Wesley, along with my co-host, Steve, and we're here to give you a political conversation from both sides of the aisle. Now, today, we're going to start off with something that's been kind of tough in Trump world. I know that a guy, Dan Bongino, was resigning from the FBI after heated conversation with Pam Bondi over Epstein files. Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino is considering leaving his job after a heated confrontation with Attorney General Pam Bondi over his frustration with how the Justice Department has handled the Jeffrey Epstein files. According to a person who has spoken with Bongino and a source familiar with the interactions that Bongino and FBI Director Kash Patel have had with Bondi, Bongino is out of control, furious. The person who has spoken with the Deputy FBI Director said, "This destroyed his career. He's threatening to quit and torch Pam unless she's fired." Bongino did not report to work Friday amid speculation about his whereabouts, said a source familiar with the perspectives of Justice Department leaders who also believes Bongino is considering leaving. This came after a confrontation Wednesday at a meeting with Bondi and White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, during which Bongino and Patel were asked about a news story suggesting they were dissatisfied with the decision not to release any additional Epstein files. According to the source familiar with the perspectives of the Justice Department leaders, an additional source familiar with the meeting got pretty heated. Another source who was briefed on the meeting said Bondi told Todd Blanche, Patel and Bongino were on the same page on all of this all along until the criticism started to come in. And sources familiar with the Justice Department leaders' perspective said Bongino couldn't take it. So, Steve, it seems to me that this is starting to become a real divide in MAGA world. People are really taking this seriously, this whole not releasing the Epstein files. You guys have actually come out and said that. Pam Bondi said there are no Epstein. There's no Epstein list. Epstein was not blackmailing any high-level leaders or figures, and also that he was not murdered in his cell. He committed suicide. What's your take on this?
Well, until I see facts that come out about it, I mean, everything that comes out is circumspect. It's not. I can't rely on people say, right? It's just, to me, if you're gonna have circumstantial evidence, it's just that, it's circumstantial until there's proof, until there's a list that comes out, even Bongino, yeah, he can be as pissed off as he wants, but what do we know that's really in those documents? We don't know yet because they haven't been released. Whose prerogative is it to say it needs to get released? I mean, they've had these documents for however many years now. I mean, even in the Biden administration, they had the documents and they didn't release them then. So what's the point at this point? What is the purpose of releasing these documents at this time?
Oh, so these documents should not be released after Trump has come out and said that, hey, yes, I will release the Epstein file. This was part of his, it
was never a campaign promise. It was never a campaign promise.
He was asked. He was asked. He released the files. He said yes. They came out.
Fine. But he can change his mind. Does he have? Is he not a person that can change his mind?
They came out. Okay, when
if the information doesn't matter, if there's nothing
portion. Go ahead.
If it's a nothing burger, why release it?
Okay. When a good portion of your audience are conspiracy theorists, QAnon, believe every conspiracy that there is about the government's against you, this and that and the third, and you're telling them, hey, I'm going to release this crypto guy over here who scammed a bunch of people for money. Hey, I'm also going to release the JFK files. I'm going to do this. You're releasing everything that these red meat conspiracy theorists want. This is a part of the reason why they believe you, because you're supposed to be draining the swamp. Then all of a sudden you have your people from your administration walk around with files in front of the White House. Hey, we got the files. Here we go. We're going to do it. And then everyone's talking about it for a while now. And then all of a sudden you come out and say, oh, there's nothing. Leave it alone. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Just be quiet about it. Because why don't you just release them if it's a nothing burger? Why? Because we're supposed to believe you. What about you said about the 1 minute? What about the one? The point is,
there's a minute of tape messing, but I would figure I've never killed anybody personally.
Yeah,
but I would think if you're going to go in, you need more than a minute to do it.
I don't,
especially if you're going to
strangle
somebody.
I'm not sure about that.
There was an interview a couple days ago I saw with a guy who was in jail at the same time Epstein was there, and he's actually been in that cell, and he said there's no way that anybody could have committed suicide in that cell. Now, granted, I am not a conspiracy theorist, unlike yourself, but I think he has a good point.
You are not
I don't
a conspiracy
know,
theorist, but you agree with Donald Trump, but you're not a conspiracy theorist. Okay.
I don't agree with I don't agree with him about what?
Everything, pretty much about everything that he says. Everything that we talk about, you agree with him about. You know what I mean? But we'll continue on.
Says. Of course, I don't agree with everything
99%, but we'll continue.
I do agree with the dance, but I mean that's about it. I mean, no. But
so
here's the thing: you have somebody who has a physical presence inside that jail who has said that there's no way he could have committed suicide in that jail, and that's a little bit. That's a lot of gravitas to me. I mean that holds a lot of weight. Because he actually
suicide watch.
I'm not saying he was on suicide watch. Yeah, so they're not giving
you the same kind of sheets and stuff like that where you can actually strangle yourself with. There's nothing they're giving you that you can do it with. In a minute, a person can walk up to a cell and give you something that you could kill yourself with, telling you, "Hey, X, Y, and Z is going to happen."
100%. I 100% understand what you're saying. I get it.
Do we know that?
But again, that's a theory. It's a little bit out there, but I get where you're coming from. I'm not
1 minute missing. There's supposed to be 1 minute missing. Yeah, but they say it's missing every night forever, and they say, we're going to do an investigation to find out about that. You haven't had the time to do that. They haven't had the time to figure out if there's a minute missing from everything. We all know how they do RICO cases.
They've had these tapes for how long?
Exactly.
They've had these tapes for how many years now? When did he commit suicide? 2019.
Yeah, during the Trump administration.
Okay, so
during the Trump administration,
during the whole Biden administration, nothing came out about it at all. Zero.
You know what?
So they had 4 years to say
Joe
something.
Biden.
They didn't say anything. So obviously, there's nothing there, or else they would have come out. If Trump's name was in there, they definitely would have come out and said something about Trump.
This is what I want. This is what I want. That whole thing. That's just not even.
And again,
this is what
you go.
Let me finish.
That fact.
Let me finish.
They had that for 4 years, and you would think during a
I'm gonna allow you to finish this.
During a political campaign, you're not gonna, what's in those documents. You're not gonna come out and use that against Trump.
We're not going to say that only Trump is in these files. We're not going to say that just Republicans are in these files. Yes, it does.
You don't want Trump to win, right?
It does matter. It does matter. No, it doesn't. Okay, listen. If it's going to affect everyone involved, if a person, if who he was, we can go back into it. Jeffrey Epstein was a high school teacher back in the late 70s. And all of a sudden, he rises to prominence, owns the biggest house, I believe it was the Hamptons or somewhere in New York.
Let me finish. During the 80s, he was a financial guy.
Yeah, I mean, during the 80s, he was all of a sudden from a high school teacher to a financial guy who also, okay, I mean, people lost a lot of money in the 80s too, but let's just be real here. Now you went from a high school teacher to owning the largest piece of property, I believe was in the Hamptons or somewhere in New York, a really ritzy place in New York, owning a private island on top of that, owning 2 private jets. I mean, let's be real here. Let's not. So when we're talking about this person, we're not just talking about Trump. We could be talking about other things. Like you look at Tucker Carlson. He's brought up the fact that this person and many other people, not just Tucker, many other high-level journalist people who have integrity in their own right, and they've spoken to other high-level officials, have all said that he could have possibly been working for the Mossad. They believe that he was. They didn't even say possibly. They said that he was.
No,
exactly. They said that he was doing. Yeah, they did. Yeah,
go look again. That's circentacial evidence.
No, they said that he was. They said that he was. I mean, I don't know about this. There's no proof. There's no proof that we have.
They said
I have personally.
There's no proof. There's no proof. Again,
but back into that now.
Zero facts to back that up.
You know what kind of this at this point in time, because the person who said he was going to release the files will not release the files. There's a lot of things you're going to have to piece together. It's called an investigation. This is how you come up with different kinds of facts. You investigate and find out. You guys,
okay, so
if this person came out and said he's going to do it, why doesn't he just release them then? Why not just release the files then?
Why? That's a good question. But here's another good question. Why didn't the Biden administration investigate it? Well, they had 4 years to do it.
Okay, this is what
4 years, man. This is what 4 years, and now you're complaining now.
This is what Trump.
This is what
people who vote for Trump
almost 6 years after.
Do. They try to always go, whatever happened with this thing? They want to divert the attention onto someone else. Did Biden ever come out and say he was going to release the Epstein files? I don't remember him ever talking about it, but I do remember Trump using this as
obviously
he was going to release the Epstein files. No, I don't think there's obviously. I don't think I know that Trump called Epstein 92 or 94 times. That's part. This is a part of the files. Lou, who's a Democrat
how do you know? You
congressman.
haven't seen the files.
Lou, a Democrat congressman.
How do you know you have not seen the files? So you don't know that. That's circumstantial.
I'm telling you
That's
right
hearsay.
now. This person came out during the congressional. Okay, I'm telling you, Lou. His last name's Lou. He's a congressman, Democratic congressman. Look him up. There's a video of him saying this. Let me finish.
The Asian guy, right?
Exactly. Let me finish. He came out. This was during like they had, how they have press conferences in a congressional background. This isn't just him off the cuff somewhere. He said this. You guys should go and look up the fact that Trump's 92 times he called Epstein 92 times. There was times he's asking for massages or whatever else. This is factual stuff. His name's in the paperwork for him calling Epstein 92 to 94 times or something like that. This is facts. He said this. Again, his name's in the file. The part of the file that's released. This might have been part of the file that was released before his death. But again, I'm going to ask you the question. I'm going to ask you the question. Why, if you had 4 years to have that information, you would not use that? Hold on. Let me finish. I allowed you to finish. Go ahead.
So why, in 4 years, did they not use that as a political trump card per se, quote unquote, a trump card? Because that would have kicked Trump right out.
Nah, it wouldn't.
Completely out of the race.
Don't care. You guys 100%. Don't care about this. You guys don't care about him being involved in it. He was recused. He got found guilty of a sexual assault. He got found guilty of a sexual assault.
If you had that information, Wesley, would you not?
I talk about it all the time. Honestly,
would you not use it in a political campaign to keep Donald Trump out of the White House? Yes or no?
You can't. It's not an yes or no
question.
It's not a yes. It's not a. I'm going to answer directly.
Yes or no question.
No, it's not.
That is a yes or no question.
It's not. It's not a yes or no question. I'm going to tell you why it's not. Let me finish. Let me finish now. This is why it's not, because a lot of times I bet you a lot of Democrats are in there too. High level donors are in there. High level Republicans and high level Republican donors are in there. So now now let's say that this person does have ties to a foreign spy agency. Now they have a little bit of sway over you on whether or not you're going to get campaign contributions. We've watched certain foreign governments dictate our political policy. We watched it happen. We watched after October 7th happen, how it dictated our foreign policy in our election as well during the 2024 election cycle. We watched it. So this is why the people don't do certain things. They'll shut up about it and let it go. Even if it has nothing to do with them, it may trickle down and have something.
You have damning information about a presidential campaign candidate, right?
Yeah, yes. And there may be
other damning information about him. Yeah. And you're going to sit there and tell me you're not going to use that damning information because
if you have to release it about him.
Wait, hold on. Existential threat is, if I'm not mistaken, that was used quite a lot in the last 4 years and during the 24 campaign, correct? Existential threat. Mm-hmm. If he's that big of a threat, why the hell wouldn't you use something like that? That makes no sense. That makes zero sense.
They haven't used zero. No, it makes perfect sense. They have not come out with anything about this man, and he's been found guilty of being a sexual predator years ago. They have not come out with any information.
He has. I mean, but until they come out with something else, it is like I said, and it's circumstantial evidence.
Like we said, it was circumstantial that Prince Andrew was also in this. And they kicked him out of the royal court. So this is a factual things that have happened. So let's not sit back and act like we don't know that these things are happening.
We don't know because nothing's come out.
I'm gonna say it like this. What I'm saying is, there was people.
Alan Dershowitz. Okay, let's talk about Alan Dershowitz. He has been accused by Virginia Giuffre of sexual assault. Now she has since passed; she's gone on, but he came up during that. Was that the one
who just died of? Just died of alleged suicide here? Who said that she would never commit suicide? I think a few of his people have died of actual suicide.
Again, let me finish. Go ahead. Okay. So he came up and said that. I've got receipts. I've got dates. I've got times, all of it. And they dropped everything. Now, what he has said is he knows people are in that documentation. He knows the people that are in there. He has said that he knows that there are people in there just like him who were accused.
Mm-hmm. He said he has a bunch of the paperwork. He said he had a bunch of the paperwork before he even said all that. He said he had a bunch of the paperwork.
Because
and also, did Alan Dershowitz, I think he's allowed to see it even before that because he was actually Jeffrey Epstein's attorney at one point in time. He's actually
the only time he would have seen that
maybe not against him, but he saw other stuff. But he saw other things that he was able to see. Because he had to. Because if you're someone's attorney and you're defending them in a court of law, they're going to give you whatever paperwork that they have against you. It has to.
He is not in a place where he can divulge that information because of attorney-client privilege. So he's never going to say anything about it.
A person on his level who all of a sudden owns huge pieces of like tens of millions of dollars worth of property, probably over $100 million worth of property, all of a sudden out of the blue. I mean, and people are, I mean, whatever organization helped him get to this level, Alan Dershowitz, they're not just picking him as his attorney out of the blue. Oh, let's just pick Alan Dershowitz to be your attorney for all.
He was one of the best. He's one of the best defense attorneys that has ever been.
And I think he's
and
also
a Democrat,
been,
by the way.
And I think he's, yeah, that doesn't mean they're saying that we've talked about Bill Clinton possibly being a part, so it doesn't matter. This isn't a Democrat or Republican thing right here.
I could honestly, I could sit here and say that Bill Clinton was down there. Okay. I don't know that for a fact because I haven't seen any documentation or facts.
We've heard stories about him. I mean, exactly. It's like the boogeyman. But this shows you that it's facts. But this shows you that it spans. I mean, Bill Clinton. They said not Bill Clinton, but Bill Gates. They've also talked about Bill Gates. They've also talked about it does. They've also talked about Bill Gates being down there, and asked his wife Melinda, "What about him what about Bill Gates being down here on this island?" He said, "That's between Bill and Jeffrey. That has nothing to do with me." Another thing, let's say like this. So when you're talking about why wouldn't they release it? Because it shows you that there's dirt on both sides of the political spectrum. You cannot release it without hurting. That's the existential threat to a lot of the people. That's the problem right there. That's why it's not a Biden. Why didn't Biden do it? Because his hands are tied too. He's part of a political system that got him into office.
Right? That he's part of the problem too.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. Everyone who's tied to this by any way, shape, or form. I'm going to say this. You know what? Honestly, I cannot even say that they're part of the problem, because at the end of the day, the biggest problem is whoever it is that's pulling the strings at the top, which I believe is the Mossad. I believe that, and a lot of people believe that. I think that's the bigger part of the problem. Who got our country bought off?
You really don't like Israel, do you? You hate them bad, don't you?
I don't like people who don't have our best interest in mind, and we pay them a lot of money to
listen, we spy on them too.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, we give them. They stole nuclear secrets from us. We give them a lot of. How much money do they give us? How much money do they give us? Now, you ask me, do I hate them? I don't. I don't hate them. I dislike the way they govern, the way that they're governing the rest of the world.
Okay, let's go.
I dislike that.
We've
but they're a part of this. The Mossad is a part of this conversation.
You don't know that. There are no facts around that, Leslie.
Zero facts. Know what? You know why they're not a lot of
supposition. That's it.
All we can do is piece together the puzzle, because you know why? Because the guy who came out and said,
if you don't have the pieces.
Was Dershowitz his attorney? Dershowitz was his attorney?
Dershowitz,
yes or no?
Probably one of his attorneys, yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what I'm saying, he's worked for Jeffrey Epstein, so that's part of the puzzle, right? Yes, it is. I mean, there's a lot of.
But if you don't have all the pieces of the
Donald
puzzle,
Trump come out and say,
right?
Donald Trump come out and say, I mean, you're going to put as much as we can, because the guy who came out and said that he was going to release the files is not doing it. He's telling everybody to leave it alone. Why are we still talking about him? He should be forgotten about. The same guy who came out and said, hey, I heard that he was allegedly pondering pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell. Back in like 2000, he talked about it with his people in his inner circle. This has been released by a news source who he can go and sue if he wants to. Now let's go see if he wants to go sue that news source after they say this about him, because he's not going to want to. Because you know why? They're going to start asking for paperwork and information based off of this. What's going on here?
Okay, so let me ask you a question, Wesley. You got done saying that the Biden administration wouldn't release it because of all these people being named, but it's okay if Trump doesn't release it.
I didn't listen. That's
a little bit hypocritical, isn't it?
I'm not. Listen, no one asked the Biden administration to release this. No one asked.
Yes, they did. They sure as hell did. They've been waiting for years.
No, wait. Who asked? Who asked?
The only reason you're making a point out of this is because Trump said something about it.
Because they asked him about it directly. He said yes, he would do it. That's why we're talking about this. They never asked Biden this. I never saw a situation where you're looking up now trying to see if they asked Biden.
Oh, I'm going to.
After you asserted a alleged fact that he was asked. So that tells me right there, you're willing to say anything. You're willing to say anything, even if it's not true, and then look it up later to see if it is.
Wait, but you don't know. You still don't have any facts to back up your point.
What's my point?
Zero facts to back up.
What's my point? That Trump is not releasing the files, and now MAGA world is falling apart around him because of it.
They're ready to get.
Everyone's saying let's get rid of Pam Bondi.
And you don't even know
his FBI director. Everyone. It's what do you mean? I don't know if it's true.
You don't even know if that's true about
multiple
Bongina.
News sources have come out and said it. Multiple news sources have come out and said it. Even Cash Patel's come out and said, you know what? Cato said, you know what?
I go back to
I'm gonna think about leaving too. Who cares now, huh?
The only reason this is a big deal, Wesley, is because Trump said he would release him.
That's it. That's the only reason this is a big deal. Because he said he would do it, and now he's not doing it.
Who cares?
You don't care?
Oh
why don't you care?
Why does it matter?
Does it
what
not matter?
It really matter?
Does it not matter if a person is implicated in molesting children or raping children? Does that not matter to you?
It should have mattered in the last. Well, did it matter in the last administration? Obviously not, because you don't give a shit about that.
This is the same thing you guys do every single time. You try to deflect onto something that's not even true. I asked you a direct question, and you don't want to answer that question. Like you told me to answer my question, I answered it. And you asked me to say yes or no. I gave you an option to say.
Listen, I don't know. I don't know if anybody had asked Biden. I'll be going honest about that.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. You asked me, you said answer yes or no if something about, I don't remember what it was. It wasn't Biden. Something different. And I answered the question.
Would you have used it in the political campaign against Trump? That's what I asked you, yes or no.
And I answered that question.
It's more than that. Why is it
more than that? Because it's not just a yes or no answer. I gave context to why people probably are not using it. And it has a lot less to do with it being Democrat or Republican.
Why should
being all these guys at the top?
Why can't Trump change his mind and say we're not going to
all of a sudden leave it alone? I don't want to talk about that anymore now because he said he would. And you guys say that Trump, you guys care so much about his integrity.
But they've had the files for 4 years prior to this, so obviously they're not that important. Because you just got done saying, well, it's because of this, and this that they're not releasing it. Well, maybe Trump is saying the same thing. Maybe it is a danger to people outside. And that very well could be. But can you blame him? No. Because you didn't blame the Biden administration for not doing it. So
I never asked the Biden administration for not. No one ever brought it up in the Biden administration. No one's ever used
because nobody gave a shit.
You know why? No one cared because we're not a bunch of people are not a bunch of conspiracy theorists. You know what? And he died. You know why? Because after he died, COVID hit, and a bunch of other problems came about, and then a war happened in Ukraine, and then a lot of other things happened. That's why we forgot about this. And then you know what Joe Biden did? He calmed the entire economy, calmed what we had going around. We had a war also that popped off over in Israel. There's things that happened that kind of pushed this to the side a little bit, and then all of a sudden you wanted to bring in your QAnon, all your conspiracy theories, and they're like, Trump's going to release it all. Trump's going to tell the truth about everything. Trump's going to drain the swamp. He said, "Yeah, I'll do it." And then he pushed back and said, "You know what? I don't think this is good for me to be releasing this stuff right here because I'm probably in this. I don't need them seeing what I had going on in my life. This is what this is about." Now you guys can go ahead and try and deflect this back onto us.
You can sit there and say that all day, but again, you have zero facts to back.
I told you Okay, so Trump says Jeffrey Epstein's back it up. Jeffrey Epstein called Trump his best friend. Yes or no? It's factual. He did. Donald Trump says, Jeffrey Epstein's a great guy. I've been knowing him for 15 years. We hang out all the time. He likes younger girls. I mean, some of them on the younger side, but it's great. This, that, and the third. He didn't say that. He did. All this stuff is facts. Yeah, they hung out with each other for years. All facts. He also praised Ghislaine Maxwell. All facts. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? You know what I mean? So these are facts. These people were intimately,
but also the fact
knowing each other, hanging out. There's video and photos of these people together.
But there's a lot of other people too, which is exactly the case of why they're not coming out.
You think I care about them? I don't. If you're out hanging out,
why do you care about Trump then?
What I'm saying.
Why do you care about Trump?
What I'm saying is release it on them too. Release it on them too. That's what I'm saying to you. You think I care? Don't release it on those guys. Release them all.
They're not going to release it because of the fact that there's too many people out there that are implicated.
This is why I'm saying
you're going back on your work. You're going back on your.
I'm not. You asked me a question. You said yes or no. Would this happen? I said this is probably why this is not happening. But I don't care about. I want it released because I don't care about anyone who's out there touching on little kids. I don't care about that. I don't have any love for them. I don't. So release it on those people. I have no issue with that.
You wouldn't have used it in a political campaign. That's part that makes no sense.
If it were me,
you just defended not releasing it.
What I was talking about,
not releasing it.
What I was talking about under the Biden administration, Biden, Obama, the rest of those guys, they're beholden to donors, all kinds of other stuff that if I jumped into the arena, if I was
president today, that's defending not using that information.
I'm not.
That's defending not releasing that information.
I'm not defending it.
You are defending not releasing that information.
That's not defending. Listen,
100%.
There's a difference between me saying I wouldn't do it because of this, and me saying, you know what, this is probably why they didn't do it. That's not.
But I asked you,
that's not defending that fact at all. That's saying that this is probably why.
But when I asked you,
if you were to
when
ask
I asked you why you wouldn't use it against Trump in a political campaign, you said because there are too many people that could have been implicated. So therefore, that's defending not releasing it.
That's not true at all. Let me explain something to you. Right now, if I were put into a political arena right now, just fresh, no attachments to anyone, dropped in as an actual candidate, I wouldn't have any attachments. I could release whatever I wanted to and wouldn't care about it because I'd have no attachments to doing so. But it'll also probably stop me from being able to pass certain bills. Time out. Let me finish really quick. What you said. What I said is I'm clean. If I'm dropped right into one, clean, without donors, without anyone, the only thing that would prevent me is now I'd have to have.
You live in a fantasy world, man.
So that's the only way that it would work that way. The only way I could tell you yes.
You're right.
Yes, I would do it. Right. That's the only way I could. So this is the conversation we're having. I was looking at when you said would I mean, it's a different situation if you're asking me.
I didn't say.
Let me finish.
I said, why didn't the Biden administration do it?
Because they have attachments. They have a lot of attachments to understanding why. There's reasons why they have going on. And also it goes into, can you get any bills passed if this doesn't happen? Can this happen if you do this? Can this happen? Because you act like people are not bought off by a lot of other people with a lot of money and a lot of power. That's all factual information.
But Wesley, that's defending not using it.
It's not defending it. It's telling you the reasons why. No,
which is a defense.
No,
that's exactly what a defense is.
There's two separate things. Listen, you're saying defending something is me saying I wouldn't do it because of this. No, that's not why I said. No, I just said
exactly what you said. I wouldn't do that because of this.
That's 100% what you said. I'm not speaking for myself because if it were me, and I'm like I said, if I'm clean being put into it, I have to. If you're asking me, you said, did you do this? Yes or no?
Why didn't the Biden administration do that?
And I gave you a reason to ask why. I said, this is the reason. I'm not defending why they didn't do it. Defending, but like, that's a great reason why they didn't do it. No, I still think they should have done it anyways. They should have released those files anyways. Me personally, I feel that.
I agree with you. But
let's not put this on here like I'm defending this. I'm not. What I'm saying is this is
why the
wide ranging
didn't do it.
You know what? We've changed this. I love the fact that how you changed the whole entire conversation and put it on the Biden administration when they were never asked and they never said they were going to do it. But the person who you voted for, who said he was going to do it, well, you should be holding his feet to the fire.
They had all that documentation.
He should be holding his feet to the fire due to this because he brought it up and he brought it up as one of his. Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell about JFK, Martin Luther King Jr. This, that, and the third. I'm gonna release the guy he's released so many different people from prison. I think like 1.5 billion in restitution won't be getting paid because of the people he released. People who stole money, frauded out like regular people. He released from prison. You guys have no issue with any of this stuff right here, but you love blaming other people for what this man is doing. There's something wrong about this, and even his own people inside of his administration that he handpicked are starting to come out and say stuff about it. Period.
I 100% blame the Biden administration for not bringing it out.
I know you do. Why would you blame him? And this guy, how'd they have this first dude?
They had it for the last 4 years prior to this administration.
This is crazy.
You stop it. You're the one sitting there defending not using it.
This guy was in jail. I didn't defend why not using it. That's not true.
You sure as hell defended it.
I love the fact that you try to switch things up and act like I did something I didn't do. You're good, but you're not good. You're not.
You want to hear a direct quote from you? You want to hear a direct quote from me?
Give me a direct quote.
When I ask you why didn't the Biden administration use that? If there's an existential threat, if Trump was such an existential threat, why wouldn't he use the information out of the Epstein files to kill his campaign?
Okay.
And you said because of this, and you defended that.
Hold on, time out. You said a quote. You said a direct quote. I said because of this, and that's not a direct quote.
I said because there's going to be people in there like donors and such, high level people. That's what you said. You defended not using it because of that.
I didn't defend that. You asked me a question. I answered the question. I'm not defending. I'm not defending.
Defense.
No, it's not. I'm telling you why it did not happen.
You told me the reasons why.
That's saying I would not have done this because of these reasons. I'm defending them at that point. I'm like, this is why I don't want them to do this because of these reasons. No, I'm telling you why. This is probably why they did it because there's Democrats and Republicans and everyone else in this paperwork. I would never defend why why they should not release it. They should have been released it. The fact of the matter is, he was in jail in 2019 during Trump administration. He died under Trump's administration. They had all this information at that point in time. Do not try to pass the buck to 2 years later, when 2021, when Joe Biden actually took over the presidency. Do not try to pass the buck on two more years up the line when you had it all right then and there.
Yeah, but you know, after falling right into
COVID,
all these other things that happened.
He came in under COVID. He was never asked about Epstein.
But he had how much time afterwards to release that?
Why are we talking about this? I love the fact that why you guys are able to defend a person who may be in paperwork with a sexual predator. It's crazy to me. That's direct defense. Oh, look at Joe Biden. What did he do something? What happened with Biden? Why couldn't Biden did this person? I know this isn't a good conversation for you. I'm wondering why
it's a terrible one for you.
Why
it's a terrible one for you because you sat there and telling me you justified why they didn't use it. Justified.
I didn't justify it. I just told you.
Yes, you did.
I actually
justified the reason
what I said was, you know what? There's a lot of these people who are high up from both sides of the aisle. I'm not going after Trump just because it's Trump. I'm not going after Trump from just because. No, I'm telling you why they're not doing it. I'm telling you why Trump's not doing it, because his name's probably in there too. Am I defending Trump now by telling you why he shouldn't have released it because his name's? No, I'm telling you this is what it is. There's no defense to any of this for me. I think this is indefensible. Get rid of it. Put it out to the public. Let the public figure it out. Okay, who's ever in it? This is what it is. This is what did happen. This is what didn't happen. Period. If it was anybody else, they do it. They have no issue doing it. They've done it for years to everyone else, but not this guy. Why? All these different presidents. Don't get me wrong. We can go right back to Bush. They had files on him way back in Bush. I think he was 07, 08 when he actually was convicted. That's under Bush, Obama, all kinds of people, all kinds of things were going on then too. Financial crisis, all kinds of stuff.
I think it was 2009.
When was he arrested though? Because just being convicted,
I don't know when he was arrested, but I think he was convicted in 2009.
You get what I'm saying? Because he could have been arrested about it years before that, years previous.
No, it could have been. Yeah, but I think it might have been 2009. He was arrested.
I don't know. I think he was convicted around that time. I think he was convicted around like 7 to 09. One of those few years in between. I think that's when he actually got his conviction for it. And then he got out because they put him in jail. He gets out. They let him go. I think they had him in jail for a minute or something like that. And then all of a sudden, boom, it's over and done with. It's overturned.
You know where those.
Wonder why.
I'll tell you. Here's a good conspiracy theory for you, because I know you like them. Yeah. What if the Epstein files were sitting in Joe Biden's garage next to the Corvette?
I bet you that. I mean, or maybe they were sitting inside of Mar-a-Lago when Trump said he wasn't gonna give them back, or maybe a number of other things. Let's be honest here. We all know, we all saw it. We got video footage and photos of Trump and Epstein together. You got any of Biden and Epstein? No, I don't. I haven't seen any at all.
I think
none. Lots of them. I
think we need to ask him about the Corvette. Maybe they were in the trunk of the Corvette.
I love the way you were really defending this man possibly being inside of some files of a convicted pedophile.
Biden might be inside those files. You never know.
Oh, now Biden might be inside those files. No one's ever said that before.
You don't know.
This is the first I've ever heard of that. This is the first I've ever heard of it. You know what? This is the first I've ever heard of it. Wow.
You sat there justified.
This breaking news. This has to be breaking news at this point in time. Let's go. Why don't we? Did they talk about possibly? Didn't he come out and say he's going to possibly pardon Ghislaine Maxwell? He said he possibly thought about pardoning her. There's information. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Because I heard he didn't want to.
You know what?
Oh, she's a very nice person, good person. I met her several times.
Do you not think Ghislaine Maxwell would have had a plea deal if she had that much information on people?
They gave her 20 years. That was a plea deal for her. That was probably a plea deal.
And
I don't think she took that to trial.
No
they
names.
gave her a 20 piece.
No names.
Gave her love. She probably got love in that. And she even came out and said she don't think Jeffrey killed himself. She even said she doesn't think Jeffrey killed himself. She said that. Yeah.
She probably had him killed.
Why? She got 20 years.
Honestly, I think it was Hillary that did it, but that's just me.
I know. Well, if Hillary did it, why wouldn't Trump put that out? Why wouldn't he come out and say all the stuff? He said that.
He has said that.
No, wait. Trump just came out and said that. He said that Hillary Clinton. He said Hillary Clinton, crooked Joe Biden, or whatever, crooked Hillary, whatever he says, Obama, and all these people made the Epstein files up to go against him. This is what he says now. They all made the Epstein.
It could be,
Russia.
Could be.
Oh my gosh, you guys, man, this This is where America is going.
Well,
this
I mean, all the Russian
this
stuff
is why
was made
no
up.
one takes us seriously. I don't believe it. I don't believe.
No one takes you seriously. That's for sure, because you keep coming up with
people take me
conspiracy
very seriously. They can't. I
Oh,
mean, listen,
they
you
can
don't
if they're
say
sitting there
anything.
justifying.
You just showed everybody that you'll make a point, say something that's not even true, and then go try to look it up and see if it is true after the fact. You just did it right here online in front of everybody. Everyone saw
about
that.
The Biden
man.
thing? I want to know
just
why
made up
a
a story and just said it. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. We go back and rewind this. We saw you do that. We saw you make a story up. So you make a story up, say something that's fact. This is a fact, and then tell a story.
Oh no, I didn't
and
say
then
it
try
was
to
fact.
go back and look it up.
I didn't say it was fact.
Yeah, no, I'm not. You know what?
I said Biden had those.
When you guys have an opportunity, go check this out. This is what he does consistently. Then he tries to tell me, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." He's good at this.
And you come back. You have no facts to back up any of the crap that comes out of your mouth. Zero.
Everything I said was a fact. So let's say this. Okay,
nothing you said was fact.
So Donald Trump was not Jeffrey Epstein's friend.
Oh, what does that matter?
I could go and do this all day. I don't want to do this to Steve. I actually like the guy. I actually like him. On some days I like him more than others. But today, just to be honest, I could do this to him several more times because everything I said was facts.
Is it wrong to be somebody's friend?
You said I didn't come out with any facts. I'm telling you all the facts I have right here.
The fact that they were friends, big deal. So what?
Yeah,
that doesn't prove anything at all.
I'm not saying it does, but you said that I had no facts. I could keep going with fact after fact that I brought up today.
But that is as an actual fact. What fact does that bring up? What does that prove? Nothing.
If I hung out with a person, you know what? A lot of times they say, you ever heard of guilt by association? This person, what he does for a living is run a pedophile child molestation ring, and I'm hanging out with you all the time.
Slow down.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
We don't want to talk about little kids rubbing on hairy legs.
I mean, we can say whatever we want. No one ever accuses this person of anything.
Those are facts.
We can talk about facts.
His mouth.
If I'm hanging out with a person who runs a child pedophile ring on his island all the time, calling you in early wee hours of the morning, saying I need massages. I don't know. Maybe you might want to come out and defend that. Maybe
I'm not defending that because I'm not saying anybody was right or wrong until I see documentation. I can't say anything because I don't.
Trump said he was going to put it out. Trump said he was going to put it out. What happened?
Who cares? Why is it such a big deal to you?
Why is it such a big deal? Why is it not such a big deal to you?
If it was such a big deal, they would have released it in the Biden administration. Period. But you sat there and said no, they wouldn't do it because of this, and this. Because they also didn't release. Why is it now a big deal? Why is it now a big deal? And it wasn't the last 4 years.
Fox News brought this up to him, asked him the direct question, and he said yes.
Leslie,
you know why?
Why was it? If it's such a big deal, why wasn't it released?
I've answered this question more than once, but I'll answer you again. Let me answer it again for you, because this is not something that was brought up to Joe Biden during him running for office. When he ran for office, this was never brought up to him. Everything we were under COVID at that time. We had real serious other problems going on, even though this is a very serious problem as well. Okay, let me finish now. Okay, and then he didn't come out and say later, oh yeah, I'll release all these files and become this whole anti-government type person who's going to release all this stuff to his conspiracy theorist followers. This wasn't who Joe Biden was. And so do I think that makes it okay that he did not release it? No, I don't. I think he should have released it anyways, and clear and like let's use light to cleanse this whole entire situation. I believe in that. I think that should have happened, but he didn't. But then you have another person who comes out and says anything to get elected, and he said anything. I'll stop Ukraine war on day one. Walk right in and stop it. Oh, I was just joking. I'd say blah blah blah. No, he said anything to get elected because he had 34 felonies over his head and multiple other cases coming right behind him in the pipeline, and he needed to get elected. So he said anything. And one of the things he did say that he was going to release the Epstein files. First, he said, if you watch the whole entire Fox News interview that he actually did, they clipped it for him because he was like, well, I don't want to people in that file that may get affected by this. Then all of a sudden he said, yeah, I'll release it. And they went straight to that part where he said, yeah, he'll release it, instead of showing all the bumbling, mumbling that he did beforehand. And later on, they showed all the bumbling, mumbling that he did later. About this is how long it took him to say yes. He said that out of his own mouth. He made his own bed right here. And now you're like, who cares? He made his own bed. Why? I would care about it because they're saying that says something. But if you're not willing, if it has nothing to do with you and you are not in it, why do you care? Why do you care? Not you particularly. Why does a person care? about what this child sex pedophile ring that was a global ring that this person was doing. Why do we care if all of a sudden now he says, "Oh, I don't want to release it"?
For the same reasons you brought up earlier. That's why.
But so Trump is beholden to all these same exact people.
Is it not what's good for the goose is good for the gander? But that's the real question. You want to sit there and say,
not if I come out and say that none of these other people have come out and said this ever, have come out and ever even spoke about this stuff. None of them have. So that's what I'm saying is if I made my own bed by saying I'm going to do this, he should have just shut up about it. Well, I don't have anything to do with that. That's a little bit different. Whatever he needed to say. Shutting up about releasing JFK files, all this other stuff that he hasn't even really done any of that stuff at all. Let's be real. You know what I mean? Like, don't say nothing then. Leave it alone. Let it be dead. Tell them this is off limits when you have conversations with me. But they brought it up and he said, yeah. Then he has people go out in front of the White House with files, point them up in the air like, yeah, they're coming. Epstein files are coming. He did all this to himself. This was a self-inflicted wound. Now deal with it.
But the reality of it is, Wesley, that if they don't want to release it, they don't have to release it.
And that's a fact.
Correct?
That's a fact. And we have every right to speculate about what happened and what's going on. He has
people there's all kinds of crap.
There's mutiny within his own, there's mutiny within his own ranks right now. Dan Bongino and also Cash Patel, who are talking about leaving this administration based off the fact of Pam Bondi not releasing these files and trying to hold them hostage, because these people have talked about this for years. These both are Cash Patel and Dan Bongino were both conspiracy theorists about all the stuff that's been going on behind closed doors in the FBI and all kinds of Secret Service and everything else that we have. I mean, all kinds of spy agencies that we have going on, CIA, everything else. They've been talking about all this stuff for years on their personal shows, jumping at every podcast they can be on, talking about how these things will be released. If they were a part of this, drain the swamp, Trump, all this good stuff. Now they're here to do it. Now they can't do their job. They're ready to go because they know something's funny. Even Elon Musk came out and said about Donald Trump that you're in the file. He said it. That's just facts. They did say it. Everyone's coming out.
But if he's in the file, but the problem exists, Wesley, that we haven't seen anything, right? Okay, that's what you're upset about. I get it. You're upset that we haven't seen it because Donald Trump said, "Hey, we're going to release it." Okay, fine. He said that. But the fact of the matter is, they're saying that what is it? The client list isn't really a client list.
He said there doesn't exist.
So, I mean, if there's a client list and they're saying it doesn't exist because it's not really a quote unquote that kind of client list, because again, why didn't they put this out during Ghislaine Maxwell's trial? Why didn't they use that as evidence in her trial? I mean, that's a serious question. Why did that not come out in the trial?
I mean, we should look up and see whether she took a plea bargain or whether they took her to trial. We need to figure that out. I don't know that.
I'll look it up, but I know.
She went
to trial for it.
But at the same time, though, these things, like we talked about this, they're not probably bringing up a lot of things that have anything to do with these higher level individuals. They didn't bring up whatever happened with Prince Andrew, and we all heard about that. You're kicked out of the royal court because they got pictures of him with Jeffrey Epstein and little girls, man. You know what I mean? They got pictures. Not saying they were doing anything wrong, but
she was found guilty on December 2021 of helping disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein sexually abused young girls. She was sentenced to 20 years in prison.
So maybe that wasn't so maybe there was no maybe so maybe there was no list involved in it finding her guilty of
yeah, but I guarantee
that's two different.
Well, I don't guarantee.
They didn't go after. Yeah, they didn't go after her for that right there. They went after her for doing this part of it. They didn't say, "Oh, well, there's other people."
Don't you think that would have come out in trial though?
I don't. Why? I think that because all these people are directly. We act like we don't understand that to get to where you have to be in this, and not only in this country, all these places. There's certain hallways you have to pass, and if certain people are like, "Don't talk about this," you're not going to talk about it. Period. You're just not. They're what they tried to do. They skewed it. They didn't want to talk about who the people were, who they were actually working with. They want to talk about the kids that they actually, which is important as well. The people who you affected. They didn't want to talk about the actual. A lot of other times they'll go about it the other way. It's the person who, let's arrest a bunch of Johns. You know what I mean? Let's arrest those guys.
There's also separate. They didn't do false accusations as well. There have been false accusations. Case in point is Dershowitz. He was falsely accused of something. So some of the people in those files may have been falsely accused as well.
Okay, but then it'll say
that's another
right?
reason
it'll
they may not want to release things.
This is what I'll say about Dershowitz. I don't know falsely accused or not. I know he said he was falsely accused, and I'll have to take his word for it. And I'll take the word of what happened with that situation. But you know what? At the end of the day, people are falsely accused all the time. They still release their information. They still put that out. It doesn't matter. They could redact some of the names. No one would even care if it was proven that you were falsely accused. Redact the names.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying
because remember when Pam Bundy, I think it was Pam Bundy was saying that the reason why we haven't released them in this amount of times because there's so many different pages and we have to go over and make sure no victims and all. Remember we talked about this.
There's like 960 pages of information or something like that.
Probably 9,000. Who knows?
There was also she was waiting on a lot of documents from the Southern District FBI from New York. They hadn't released those documents to her yet either. But that was early in February.
And they act like we don't have AI. They act like we don't have AI. They act like we don't have. I mean, I redact things right. I'm trying to tell you, I use the little simple stuff that we have. You know, I use the little simple things that I'll try to redact the part where you went out and told a blatant bold face, you know what I mean? And then try to go back.
I will find out why. I will find out why. I apologize if I made that statement. It was not correct.
You know what I mean? You have to go back over and watch this, man, because you went back over trying to clean up.
You don't have to rewatch it because I'm going to say I said it. I said it.
Whole world saw. But listen,
it doesn't matter.
All I'm going to say is this, right?
Not releasing it.
It's horrible. I didn't defend it. I didn't defend not releasing. I'm just telling
you did. Oh my God!
Why these people
all right. So everybody who's out there watching this, and I hope you guys come out here and watch the ridiculousness that came out of Wesley's mouth about defending why the Biden administration wouldn't release something on Trump if they knew he was in it.
You know what? That just sounds ridiculous.
That's just common sense.
What sounds even like that we're even talking about Biden during the time when we know this person actually came out and said they were going to do something, and now they're like, just shut up about it, leave it alone, please. If you're my guys and gals who are MAGA, if you love me, you say you love me, just leave it alone.
No, listen, I'll tell you where it all went wrong.
That ain't strange.
I'll tell you where it all went wrong. When Pam Bondi went out in front of all the quote unquote influencers and didn't have anything to give, that's where they went wrong. That's where it went off the rails. And it's been going off the rails ever since.
Or when she came out and said that, it's on my desk. The whole client list, everything's on my desk right now for me to review XYZ. Now, or is that where the point where it went wrong? Or did it go wrong when he was on Fox News and he actually said he was going to do it? Maybe that's part where it went wrong as well. There was something that she said recently, and I don't have the quote. She said something about it's not technically a client list the way people think it is. But there's no doesn't have to be a client list. It's just telling you basically tell us who's been on the island, who was on the planes. That's what we need to know. We'll put the rest together. Who was accused? That's a client list good enough. Nobody has to say there has to be the exact, this person, this day, this, that. There's some stuff. I guarantee Jeffrey Epstein's not stupid. Listen, he's not stupid. He kept himself insulated one way or another because he walked right out of jail like Barry Seal did. Remember Tom Cruise and played Barry Seal? I think it was called Made in America or something like that. I can't remember.
Made in America,
I think that was the name of it. He said in 1 minute, she's gonna walk out of there, and you guys are gonna uncuff me. I'm gonna walk right out that door.
Right out. Yeah,
and that's what Jeffrey Epstein did. So he had something out there on people where he had enough power to get himself right out of there.
I'm not saying
that tells you that there's layers to Jeffrey Epstein.
But I will
by a court. It was a court that overturned his conviction. I think it was like a federal court overturned his conviction, got him right out of there. Done.
But the problem is, Wesley, until we see something, and we may never see it. Even if there's another Democrat in the White House after Trump, which I doubt, it's doubtful because there's no real good Democrats out there right now. But
oh my goodness,
if a Democrat comes in next, I'll tell you what. Who?
I said you guys are floundering right now. You guys actually have a decent one from your state. I don't know.
I'd almost rather be floundering than not knowing anything at all. I mean, not having a clue about anything. Because that's where you guys are sitting right now. You don't have anything to go on. You don't
have to. You guys are eating each other right now. You guys are cannibalizing each other right
up there
now
for 8 hours going.
This is normal. It's normal. This is a normal thing. It's called. It's like a. Yeah, it is. I forget what the name for it is. But it happens. It happens all the time. It happens all the time.
Not for 8 hours. He broke the damn record, man.
Of something that normally goes on. So obviously it's happened before. If I can break a record for something, then that means it's happened before. Correct?
Oh yeah,
I mean, like he's not the first one. He won't be the last. What it is there, what it is they're trying to hold off the vote. so they can try to so they can do is try to clip. Okay, so I mean,
but
let's
it's
not
not
act
a
like
regular process. It's not.
No, it's very much what you do. They did. I think they did it during when Obama was trying to pass Obamacare. They do it every time there's a large bill trying to be passed. You do it to try and see if you can snipe off some of the votes, especially with such a close vote like this one, where you guys just, I think you won it by 3 votes. Yeah, because you don't have to. Like, there's no huge bills being passed like this. Like this passed, you know what I mean? That we just saw. There's also things like this that don't go on all the time, where you have a presidential candidate who may be involved in a child sex ring. We don't know. The information's still out there. He won't release it. And Steve right here is good with that. Is good with that. That he will not release that. I don't know why he's.
I'm not.
Steve's fine with it. He's defending why they won't be released. He said, "Who cares?"
Until it gets released, there is no facts to back up anything that you said. Zero.
Well, was he not
except for the fact that they said they were friends? Big deal.
Was he not a child sex predator?
Who?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Yes, that's already been established.
Was there not people in this?
But that's it. The rest of it is supposition, man. The rest of it is supposition and hearsay.
The rest of what? Which part?
What's in the files? Because we don't know what's in them. So it's all hearsay.
They said that in the file is Donald Trump has
92. They said.
Lou, a congressman who's seen parts of the files. He came out and said Donald Trump's name's in there. Donald Trump didn't come out and sue him.
Okay,
he didn't come out and sue the guy. He didn't say, you know what, I'm taking you to court like you want to take everybody else to court. He didn't sue him for that. Normally, people are going to sue you for something that you say that's maybe not really true, depending upon what it is.
Again, we don't know because nothing's been put out there yet. Did Lou tell you why it was put out there? No, he doesn't.
I think these were probably part of the files that were put out probably during the time that when Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were had a civil lawsuit filed against him by a woman for I think it was some type of either sexual assault or something like that. I think they had a lawsuit filed against him like 2015 or something. I can't remember exactly the exact time of it. Maybe those put out then. I don't know. But I know he said this here recently within the last year. He said this probably within the last more than 6 months, probably within the last year, right before the last presidential election. He said this. So, I mean, I know that we've had a tough, brutal conversation about this. I know it's been going on for a while now. Are you looking it up? Where are you looking up?
Yeah, I was actually going to bring something else up if you want to talk about it for a few minutes.
Go ahead.
That I really thought was kind of funny this week.
Go ahead.
And that was Biden's doctor.
Who? Biden stalker?
Doctor.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. When he went to they had him in front of a congressional.
I thought it was kind of funny. I get where the doctor's coming from. You know, there's a doctor-patient privilege thing, confidentiality,
absolutely.
HIPAA. But he pleaded the fifth. Why would somebody plead the fifth?
Because at the end of the day,
what need would he to plead the fifth?
Because there's client doctor confidentiality. So I'll plead the fifth.
But that has nothing to do with pleading the fifth. You plead the fifth because you don't want to incriminate yourself for a reason.
I'll plead the fifth because I don't want to talk. I don't have anything to say. I can plead the fifth because I have nothing to say.
No,
you know what I mean?
The fifth is to keep yourself from being self-incrimination.
I mean, or you just say, you know what? I plead the fifth. I don't have anything to say about this. People plead the fifth for every reason, for any reason. If they don't have anything to say, most times it'll make you answer a question. Your answer can be, I plead the fifth, or it could be, I don't know, or it could be, I don't recall. But you can say, I plead the fifth, and that just cuts off everything, cuts off the whole entire talk. I plead the fifth for this entire conversation because.
Do you know what I wanted to see? I wanted to see an overlay of Dave Chappelle doing it over top of his doctor, over top of the doctor. That
should we have?
Because it was just as funny watching that doctor do the Chappelle skit.
I think the Trump's doctor should be put forward too, because this guy has what I think is an acute case of bipolar disorder. Because every other day he's changing his mind about all kinds of stuff. Or he jumps over here, he says he's going to do this. No, all of a sudden, no, we don't want to give farmers the right to keep their workers. Oh, yeah, we do. We want to give farmers the right to keep their workers and also hotel workers. This dude does this every 40%.
Are you stating facts again, Wesley? Are you stating facts that he's bipolar?
What I'm saying is
that he's bipolar.
What I'm saying is that his actions are such of a bipolar person. Every other day, 40%, 110%. Okay, nothing.
Did you just now become a psychologist or psychiatrist? Or you
look up the term bipolar? Look up the term bipolar.
Bipolar can mean a lot of things,
yeah,
man. Not just because they change their mind about stuff.
Every other day, yeah.
Bipolar does not mean you change your mind.
I'm not saying just wait. Your whole entire mood and everything about things change every other day. It's a bipolar. It's probably part of it. I didn't say it's what I didn't say that's what it means. I said I guarantee those are symptoms of bipolar syndrome. And he has that.
No, they're not.
Something's going on with this guy. You know what I mean? And in my unprofessional opinion.
Yeah, there you go.
You
have a lot of unprofessional opinions.
I mean, I'm not a professional. I'm not in the medical.
You have no facts, but you have unprofessional.
The fact of the matter is he swings from one thing to the next. Here we go. Here, we want to do this. Then all of a sudden, no, this, that, and the third. Then the next day, he's back over here again. There's something strange about that to me. So his doctor should very well be on a congressional. I don't see very many presidents doing that every other day. He could do it in the same day. It could be done. Even Putin come out and said, "Yeah, wait till his next text. Wait till his next tweet. He'll change his mind."
Wait, should I stand over here, or should I stand over here, or should I stand over? Where do I need to stand?
He's having a bad day.
I know where I'm at.
Biden's having a rough day. He's having a rough day that day.
He's having.
But you know what though? His presidency was a lot better than this one. Guaranteed money. He
wasn't even the president. We don't even know who was in charge, man.
Conspiracy. And
now we're so good at that.
We can say that about you here now.
That's why we're so good together, Wesley.
Absolutely. And with that, we'll call it into today's civil discourse. We hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'm always right.
Really?
He's always wrong. I am your host, Wesley. This is my co-host, Steve. Great guy.
Thanks a lot, guys.
But he's thank you guys for watching Civil Discourse. You guys have a great evening.
Have a good one.